minute packing. On all levels, not only for yourselves, but for our content. As I went home last night and went over things that I thought, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could talk about that and include that. So we're going to just do a quick last minute packing of the suitcase, your content suitcases, and exposure of a few more items. How are we doing with the extension cord?
Actually, you'll have to move something.
All right. So this wheel has more than 7 points. Okay. You'll have your little wheel, remember your little wheel pads. And if you don't, that's okay. This is the day I know most of you had to pad back everything. Everyone can see the board all right? Yes. I felt offensive yesterday. We were cutting the cake and my back was the problem. It was a bit a little tight. He forgives us this. I thought this would be better today. All right. So last night, just randomly, I kept thinking of little things that we wanted to mention. I brought along additional study guides. Over the years, I've been collecting them. So I thought I'd expose you to them today. Some of them are brand new ones, like Narani's new book. Someone also has shown us this here. She had given me one just before she left. I just collect study guides, and so you may want to start doing that too. And if you see something here that somehow we didn't photocopy before, Sriananta and I can arrange that it be copied and be sent on. One other program that's very nice that you may want to use with the children, it's been done, and maybe it's been done in Bombay by, oh God, he's now a Maharaj, Brihat Mridanga, on his Sadachar program. I brought that book over on Vaishnav etiquette book. So, do you have that? You all have the Vaishnav etiquette, but you don't. So I just wanted to expose that one so they can see that, because that's actually a course. You know, many of these books I've saved, it's a course. It includes wonderful points on just how to conduct yourself, how to take a meal, how to interact with devotees, how to have a meeting with norms. It's a good book. So actually, every time I see a book, I see, oh, there's a course. You know? And you can start thinking that way too. You see a book and you say, oh, I can teach this to my child. Now you know how to go about teaching it. And I brought along something very interesting. And I saw the girl today in the temple. Her name is Shivratri. She's 14 years old. She just turned 14. And I had Bal particularly in mind when I heard that he actually excels in studies. Shivratri, I brought her homework along, did the Bhakti Shastri course. And she did it at 13. And she had her homework turned in on time, and she got good grades. I have some of her homework I still have to go over and submit to her. And she took the exams and did the essays, and at 13, she passed the Shastri. She was 13, and now she turned 14 towards the end, and her mom came, simple little girl from Russia. So it's something to consider. You know, if your kids are up to it, send them on and let them do it somewhere. Get it out, get it under their belt. So I brought a homework sample along. I brought a handwriting sample along, the Palmer script. I don't know that had ever, script. I don't know that had ever been given to you, but in case, I packed it along to show you, and that could also be photocopied. Oh yes, I wanted to purchase this, and the bookstall was closed. I wanted to give one last little gift booklet, and I'll send them along. And I'll send along another little gift too. Not ready yet. I ordered it for the children, laminations for the children specifically, but I called them in at Dixit Studio, and not ready yet. And then we have the little caps. Right. So each child and everybody will get a little book called The 64 Qualities of Krishna. I don't know if you have it, but it's an excerpt from the Art of Chanting. And it's very nice for our own japa meditation. And now that they know how to memorize lists of things, it has the 64 qualities of Krishna in Sanskrit and in English, and a little paragraph about each. So it's a wonderful exercise, like maybe memorizing 10 at a time. And the first 10 deal with Krishna's body, his form, and some are his mind. And then the other ones deal with his qualities. And then you'll go on and then more qualities on how he interacts. Now those are not designated, but this is what we do. Remember, we task analyze. So when you get a book, you see, well, is there something systematic in the way this was presented? And then of course the last 4 qualities are only Krishna's. And before that, 10 qualities belong to Narayan and Krishna. And then some of the qualities you'll see, you'll have a certain percentage Shiva has and a certain percentage Brahma has. But 50 of the 64 qualities the Jivas all have, we have in minute proportion. And if you're a pure devotee, then you have them all to your fullest capacity. So that's a nice little book. So I went to go get that this morning in the bookstore. I just couldn't hold it. We couldn't do it, so I'll try to get that. Maybe even today, and they could still, some be sent on. And this little lamination was ordered about 3 days ago, and unfortunately I told the man, and he promised me, I thought perhaps maybe he came by last night, and I put it in, and he couldn't find me at home. But just so you know you're getting it, these are Aruda's little Govardhans, and they were with me before they flew to America. They were, she went to Govardhan with her younger son Gopal, and with the help of Gopi Puranadana's wife, Archa Murti, took a Govardhan parikrama, and they got the blessings of some Babajis, and she found Krishna, the big one, and he's moon-shaped, and then Gopal found this little crescent-shaped Radha, and she fits right around his face, which is perfect. So they were with me, just sitting on my little counter table there with no decorations or anything, and it was sort of yes, no, should we take them or not? The guru wasn't keen on increasing their deity worships. She has a lot to do. She's there by herself managing a temple. And then she went back and got 2 little ones, which still are with me because she thought these were too heavy for travel. But then the guru was really getting worried that now she wants 4 instead of 2, and then he was not showing enthusiasm at all, so she said, send them all back. I said, but we've ordered eyes and flutes and boxes, how can we do that? So when she called me from her mother's house, I think it's in Allahabad, she said, I'm coming to the airport in Delhi, but I can't make it to Vrindavan. Can you arrange to get the deities ready? The guru said yes. So this is how they turned out. This is how they manifested just before we put them in a taxi. They were taxied to the airport. And the people in Boise were at the other end waiting with a big kirtan to greet the arrival of Govardhan. It was a big thing for the temple. So she was so excited. So I ordered one of these. This is another one of the laminations I pass out regularly because some people don't have a Govardhan. And then this is a way you can put this on your altar. So I've ordered one for each of the children. So this is Aruda, and it's special. So we just have one sample, and by tomorrow night I'll have more, and then we'll just send them on with Srinatha or whoever's going back. Who's next? Damodar, when are you going back? Today?
We're going on 12th.
On the 12th. So whatever we decide or we can pack along, then Damodar can bring them.
Actually, I'm going tomorrow night to Delhi.
Oh, tomorrow night you're going to Delhi. Okay. Anybody else going?
We're going on 12th to Bombay.
Oh, you're going on the 12th, so you're here a little bit longer. So then maybe you can arrange to just get the laminations to children. I thought I'd have them by today, but maybe, I guess you couldn't manage that one. So this will have a nice connection because it's Aruda's. And everywhere she goes, people really love them. And this picture's been, I've passed out hundreds, literally, and everybody loves it. It's quite cute. Okay, so we'll have Govardhan and the 64 qualities of Krishna. That I can try to pick up in the bookstore later today. All right. So let us then go on to some of the items that we talked about before we do the math. We just want to cover all the points. Study guides. Rasamrita actually acquired this one, and I brought it along. I meant to bring it the other day, but just too many books. Narayani has just had this one published, and she has taken to heart Prabhupada's desire that every verse of the Bhagavad Gita be illustrated. So the artist Satyadama, who illustrated your Bhagavatam, they're tiny little pictures, but still every verse is illustrated, and you'll see the breakdown. She's done the summary and the breakdown of each chapter. So just as we've been studying, like preparations for war, signs of victory, and she took each verse and she put it into a poetry form. So it's a slightly different way to read the Bhagavad Gita. Each verse has been turned into a verse, and each verse is shown in a little tiny lotus. And also the different divisions are all illustrated with a larger color picture, and I think there's a CD in here as well. So the book is quite special. So this is the newest study guide, and I know she's working on, with the artist again, study guides for she's finished first and second canto, and she's working on the third. The money has come for the third. So there are many books available. You're going to pass that back to Manaji? Excuse me, I brought mine along today also in case you didn't have that one to show you. Some others, I'll just go over the study guide thing. As I said, over the years, and perhaps these have already been copied. I don't know, but I thought just in case not, we'd share them with you. So you have that one by Narayani. And then, of course, you probably know of, or maybe already have, this is the study guide Burjan did on Surrender unto Me. And this is very helpful. I know, actually, some of the teachers in Bhakti Shastri refer to it a lot and expect questions from it, like what are Jyoti's diplomatic tricks, the yoga ladders in here. That was one thing I had hoped maybe we could have covered, the yoga ladder with the children, but it's wonderful. And it also does links between each chapter. It'll show you which verse is the link-in verse. It's an excellent study guide. So it's if you're studying with the children, it's easy reading. Wonderful, wonderful book. Study guides are fabulous. Really, really good. So I brought that along. Just put them on the table for now. Okay. I didn't realize actually how much I still had in my... These are old. This is a really old studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, I mean, I've been saving them for years. I forgot to even pull out some more. This one, I think, just explains a study method, how to go about the Bhagavatam. I don't know if we did this. Did we do this one?
Yes.
We did do that one. So they have this also.
Yeah, they have, there is a whole unit called as Bhakti Shastri study thing.
Okay, so it
Which
includes
is called as
this.
base. Most of them
Have this
are
already.
available there.
All right. I didn't mean to duplicate. I just thought I'd bring it along in case, because sometimes there were things that were left out. But this sort of a suggested study schedule and how to ask all kinds of questions per verse in the canto. So, but apparently you have access to this. Okay.
Rather specifically, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, who is one of our temple presidents and who keeps on guiding all these devotees, has been referring to this.
He's been referring this book. This one's been around a long time. This has been around a long time. Okay. Again, pardon me if I'm being redundant. I just thought better to come and check two of them. Very old study guides, really old. This one unfortunately was marked up.
Yeah.
Did you get this one?
Yes.
You got that one. He's got all these. And Bhagavad Gita as it is by Jagadish. He was Maharaj at the time. So all that's covered too. Okay. It's very handy to have them, Urjan's early study guide, which eventually turned out to be Surrender unto Me. This one, I'm so sorry I marked it up. This is why I don't like to mark up books. But when I, in 2002, was taking Srimati's Bhagavad Gita course, she's the one that did the NOI thing. She is so organized, so complete. And I was under so much pressure because I was tutoring and I was trying to take the course as well. And I had to mark things by color, to just cram exams through the cram program. But this is one thing Sri Ananta has, and he copied it from my book. But I also now in my pen drive have the good copy. So we can try to maybe get those, now that the office is back at the VIHE. There are 27 study charts here. Do you already have, do they have those as well?
Yes.
They've all got the study charts. In other words,
Because these are the same things which are used in
they're
generations
used
by
in
the
general, okay, very good. So again, I brought it along just in case. And this whole book is amazing because she goes verse by verse, breakdown plus each verse. She has just a summary statement of the verses. And these were available to all of us. She would provide these. Okay, so it looks as though there's nothing new here. Nothing new in that regard. And then somebody was asking about NOD, and this is a book that's been out a long time, but this is a very good companion book for NOD, because that's actually very difficult. It's quite deep. And this is, I found very helpful because there will be graphics organizers, charts. It explains the waves more clearly. Very, very helpful. So I recommend for your study of NOD, since we don't have anybody other devotees that have done anything on a simpler scale, that this is a good study guide for NOD.
Is this waves of nectar devotion?
Waves of Devotion, yeah, it's a study guide for, no, this is Damodar, yeah. And especially in the later portions of the book where it's very complicated, many different types of rasas and rasabhasa, whatever, you can get lost. So this I find helps too. And they'll actually include graphics things in there about the pattern of sinful reaction, and then how that it goes into avidya, and it's good. This is good. All right, let's see what else is in And he probably then also photocopied Urmila Mataji's book. Oh, this is an old book by Mohini Sutta on Teach Yourself Slokas.
Yes.
That one you've got. Okay, you've got all this. I have to recap everything. Did you do Urmila's Bhagavad Gita for the children?
No, I think.
This is what she used when she taught Bhagavad Gita, and illustrated.
We have this.
Yeah, we have.
You have that one too, okay. Okay. So these are things maybe that some of the other devotees that haven't had so much exposure to.
No, all of them have, like whatever.
We all have.
Whatever I had, you
Yeah.
had. I just, I couldn't remember really if we'd gotten into this.
Yes.
Because basically I knew we were doing other things folding, and I hadn't remembered if we.
Yeah, but I think that time I was teaching Bhakti Shastri, so you had given me all these things.
So we were all set. Again, forgive me for forgetfulness, but I just wanted to be sure,
Yes.
because this is the time. See it, do you have it? She noticed that we didn't have that writing competence book.
And
So,
some of the things were also given by Bhakti Brihat Bhagwat Maharaj, which you are speaking about.
okay,
So he was one of the pioneers in starting the facility for Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav in our yatra.
so
So
everything,
he had also given many things.
so everybody has,
Yeah.
that's just every concern here. And then also you can, actually after this is all over, Anita wants to come and do what he did, and that's go
Yes.
through the shelf and see what's abuse.
Yes.
And then little by little, because to try to do it right now, it's just too chaotic.
Too much.
And then what happens is we get printing mistakes. Sometimes things were printed in more quantity, or I would lose masters. And I just now have to do it at a very regulated, systematic pace if somebody wants to do vast amount of photocopying right now. Okay, so that we have covered. Now, I'm not sure if you got this is a single sheet?
Yeah, we have.
You got that one, okay. I wanted to, at the time, we could have shown you how simple, again, if you analyze, everything is by zones. And everything, we teach just basic strokes. So upstroke, or loop, or descending loop. And if you look, we just go through and we analyze You know, which letters are 3 zones, which letters are 2 zones, do you see any, what they call arms? And it's just a matter of practicing. And that's the handwriting that, as children, that I do, you know, in the book. That's what we were taught. Everybody learned it. And it's just a simple little thing. So everybody's got the sample of Palmer. This is Palmer. And people say, well, what if my child wants to develop his own writing style? That's not recommended. Prabhupada never recommended concoction in any area of deity worship, cooking. He said that's a concoction. Traditional styles have been developed over the years for their consistency and their readability and their beauty. So for us to try to go beyond that is a little bit like trying to supersede the acharyas, you know? You don't. And why bother if something's been developed that's traditional and very pleasing? Now, Betty Edwards refers to this one, and she also talks about the Danilian as being a strange combination of print and script that is artistically inconsistent and disturbing to the mind to look at, and also confusing to the child to learn. So I just wanted to be sure. Very simple thing from a grammar book, 4th grade grammar book. I brought along this is the last set of homework from Shivratri. This is the youngest student in Bhakti Shastri, and she's 13. And you can see how she did. And I had a format for them for homework. They had to write the question in one color ink. They had to give the response in another color ink. And they are supposed to cite the Shastric references. That keeps it Shastric. So here you can just pass this around and see what a 13-year-old can do. And she got good marks. And she came over to my place a couple times. 2 or 3 of the students took the initiative when they were in doubt as to how to do essays or how to study properly. She came along one Sunday and wanted to know how to study better and how to go about doing her essays. So, very nice girl. So it's never too soon. We just tend to think that they're too little. But she did better than many adults. She did better than many adults. All right. I think as far as Shastra goes, that is all that I wanted to be sure you have. Sri Ananda is so complete, I don't know. This is never. Now we passed out, and we have left a few of these packets. Right? So we'll go over those in a little bit, not quite right now, to see what else we have. So we've done study guides, Vaishnava etiquette you have, and Shivratri's thing is being passed out now, so you can see what a 13-year-old can do. So if your child is bright, direct them in the right direction. Let them really, because sometimes if children are not motivated to study or learn, maybe it's just they're not being challenged enough. So, you know, she was in a situation where the pressure was so heavy, some people couldn't take it. And yet she managed. And she was coming to the temple and doing the programs too. I can't keep up like that anymore. Okay. And she doesn't strike, if you see the girl, you look at her, she doesn't strike you at all as scholarly. She just looks like a sweet little girl. She's a sweet little girl. Obviously not the Sukriti from previous life. Okay, so we've done study guide, sadhachara, Shivratri's thing, handwriting sample. That was what that was. And the pink sheet. Yeah, I wanted to show you a couple of little art tips with the watercolor pencil and the writer's guide. Now I know what that's all about. That's the blue book. And that is the one which was too big to photocopy. But and I don't know if it's still available. But years ago when I was in the Gurukula, 2 of Urmila's students, they were twins, were visiting Vrindavan, and they dropped in to see me in my class because I was always on the alert, like who's doing what, you know, and learn from them. So at the time, Urmila had her school in North Carolina, and it was well known that the children performed 2 or 3 years above standard, and they were doing quite well. So the twins there were sharing with me. I was trying to find out, what do you do, what do you study, what books do you use? So they told me about this book. And again, I don't know if it's still available, or maybe it's even revised, or there are other, like there may be Oxford books that are, I'm still in my back to contact. Oxford editions that are similar, but this is the Webster's New World High School Writer's Handbook. Complete Guide to Writing Across the Curriculum. Defines, explains, and illustrates 38 different kinds of writing in 5 content areas. The book is brilliant. The initial portion of the book explains in depth the 4 stages of the writing process, beginning with pre-writing, and then writing, revision, and then proofreading. And each one of those 4 stages is carried into different types of writing, be it essay, be it journalism. So you get the model, right? And then it's applied as need to be in different categories of writing. Then there are samples. There'll be samples for a theme in mathematics, or a theme in science, or a theme in English. Right? So you get samples, and you'll even see samples that have been revised. They've been checked, and maybe transitions have been left out of the first one, and transitions are added. So you compare, and you see how transitions facilitate the flow of a thought. Very helpful book, about as thorough as you can get. And I would strongly recommend all of you work at this level, because I always felt that I could introduce things at the highest level possible and just adjust the content according to the age level. You know, rather than start, baby things are okay, but you want to take into account the whole spectrum of what children are able to do. So this is a wonderful book. And it's easy to follow, too. The tide, the size of the print, it's good. Very good book. Yeah. Sample outline for a paper, how to do a speech. So this was Irma's book for her writing program. I think I passed on to Sri Ananta all the books I had on Sanskrit, because I got to the point where I ran out of covered space. And I thought, well, I'm just too old to start to learn Sanskrit, or certainly in the Gurukula I would teach the alphabet and maybe a few 100 words to get them started sometimes, but other than that, I mean, to get into the language, that takes years of grammar and study. I don't have the samskaras for it either. Okay? So, the handwriter's book. So the next topic then would be very quickly, those packets. So everyone has the packet now? Did you have the packet? And Ray, did you get the packet?
Yes.
All right. Right. We'll pass those. He's coming in a little bit, or later? Later. Okay. All right. So the packet has, for you, we talked about it yesterday, the packet has the blank. Oh, you need a packet. I can get more copies made. Some of these have to be collated in order. The pages are mixed up. But ideally, I wanted them in this order, because this is how you think. So the first piece in the packet should be the blue one. You know, you may have to rearrange some of these. It should be the blue one, because it's a sample, okay? I have to do a lesson plan. Here's my blank page, right? So then the next page would be, here's another sample, but with example. So this should be page 2. And then you can see, here's a sample of time spent, topics covered, who's going to present the information, how will the class be divided, organized, resource materials are listed, and assessment method is defined. And the date, and of course, you have to state what the aims are and what the objectives are. And this is the model that's used in the BET training in this class. So if you ever take that course, you'll be using this. Then the next page I put in was a 2-sided sheet. It included the Gardner 7 intelligences on one side, with a sample applied to photosynthesis in science. And then on the other side, much of what we were doing the other day, Bloom's taxonomy. And we've talked about knowledge, comprehension, application, and higher order thinking, application, synthesis, and evaluation. We've talked about that. And you can see it goes across the board, giving you the vocabulary of verbs to use in setting your objectives to meet different levels. In that one book that's called Multiple Intelligences, you'll see how the teacher combines Bloom and Gardner. So you've got examples on how to plan. In other words, how will I cover 6 levels of thinking? You see how Bergeron did that in the VIAG courses. What's knowledge? What's understanding? Where's application? Where is synthesis? Where is evaluation? All that's there. So this is coming from this model Bloom. Very, very, very important. This is, I think, from maybe 1980s. This model was developed. I can't remember. I may be mixing that with Collins too, Collins model instruction. But these are models that are coming out of universities where they're developing methodology for training and analysis. And Gardner, of course, that's well known now, the 7 intelligence. The whole Pathway School is designed on that. You have picture smart, word smart, music smart, body smart, personality smart, interpersonal smart, verbal linguistics, mathematical logistics. Okay. So you can see how in a class, to accommodate different types of learners, you know, the child that's a kinesthetic or a child that's a linguistic, because you will have all kinds of children in the group. You will not just have verbal linguistics. As you find you go higher and higher in university training, it starts to narrow down to that because everybody else is falling away. But in an ordinary classroom program where children are, by law, required to be in school, there has to be some way to accommodate different types of learners. What do you do with the children that are athletic? Just fail them all the time? That's okay. So you see, even the study methods I was giving you are to help all kinds of children learn the material. Okay, that I had to be as the next page, and then I included in the next step the anatomy of this textbook, which had clever ideas for gearing up, or what's happening, or find out, or what's next. You know, motivational terms. And the textbook did that. They would have pictures or questions or some kind of a short story that would tease the brain a little bit to get the student thinking. Here, flex your brain exercise, activities, mini labs, problem solving, technology, relating information to technology, eco tips, very important. Ecology, how does ecology fit into what I'm teaching? And reviewing, and skill builders, how to build skills, study skills. Subject and global connections. What does this have to do with what's happening in Iran or in Africa? Careers, let's say you're interested in something. What is their future for me in this? And literature and art, they would have books and paintings in the book. It was amazing. Art that, you know, famous paintings that related to the topic, books that were literature, good literature related to the topic. Unit readings, and of course an appendix. Appendixes are very helpful. And a glossary. Glossary is very important. So these are things that are good features not only for a book, but for you in your lesson plan. How can I plan my lesson to motivate people connected to ecology? And so I put that in on the back. In the book they also have here, you can see different kinds of graphics organizers using charts, graphs, tables, experimenting skills, thinking critically skills, organizing, how do I sequence, how do I outline, and then at the end I added Krishna's own speak. How do you see Krishna behind everything? Because that's the idea. That's the idea for us. How do we connect everything to Krishna consciousness? So that was, I presented this with a law of application. This was my handout for that. Because everything I had to teach, I had to connect it to Krishna consciousness, not just regurgitate the book. In other words, take it to our level of concern. So that I consider to be the next page. And then for yourselves, your own checklist after you've done it. You can check yourself. Remember we had this mnemonic trick. We started with carrots and what was the next thing? Eggplant, Irish. You interact. And many subpoints and then a rating scale. This is you keep this handy, keep it out on your desk, and at the end of each day, look at it. Very, very good. Am I organized? How's my pacing? Do I move through quickly enough? Is it too fast, too slow? And disclosure. Very important. The children have to be tested. I've seen this happen. So a test will be pulled that has nothing to do with what was covered. Very unfair. Disclosure means everyone is clear on what's to be known and what will be tested on. Speech. Your characteristics, your voice. Do you inflect your voice? And last, rapport. How do you interact with the children? Rapport means do you get on well with them? Not just in terms of they're there as students, but how do you deal with that? So you can keep this, I would keep this posted high. Right. Then the next one is how to evaluate your teaching. And SSSSS. Students, self, standards, staff, and supervisors. Things to avoid. I pulled this out of the second chapter of the Law of Expectation. These are things to avoid. These are called low expectation behaviors in the teacher. So you definitely want to avoid doing this. Because the tendency, obviously he wouldn't have gone to the trouble to be so systematic in listing it if it doesn't happen a lot. Not allowing child enough time to answer a question, or not allowing for feedback. Neglect is considered the first stage of abuse. If you have taken courses, which we have to take extensive courses repeatedly on child abuse, and sometimes people don't think about that, they just think, oh, there's some physical damage or some sexual abuse, but actually abuse goes all the way down to neglect. If you neglect to provide a child with sufficient physical, mental, emotional, and educational facility, if you neglect, that's considered abuse. And that's often not taken into account. So nothing should be neglected. Children should be properly fed, properly nourished, properly emotionally reinforced. Their health, every aspect of their being has to be taken into account. Are they happy? Are they healthy? Is their intellect being sufficiently stimulated? What to speak of higher levels of abuse, which can be so horrific that when you talk about it. I know Lakshmanoni in our training course showed us a movie. Took 2 times to watch it. And she said usually movies like this are exaggerated. She said they had to tone this one down. And for 6 months after it, I had nightmares. And it was a true story. So, it's not a very nice world out there. I still see some of the scenes in the movie, and I just actually, and true story. And it was an orphanage, a Catholic orphanage. Orphanages are pretty sad affairs because nobody really cares about who's there. It was in Canada, and then it even follows up 15 years later. What happened to many of the kids that grew up that way? Heavy. So you don't want to be naive. It's not a very nice one. That's one of the other things too I always tried to do when I tutored privately. I always insisted that the parent be with me for 2 reasons, so that they could see what I was teaching and learn, And also just so there was never any question of whatever I was doing, you know. Because sometimes children, it's not that often, sometimes people say the children make it up. You know. So you don't want that to happen, but then you want to be sure that nobody else makes up something. Always good to have another person present when you're dealing with, especially if you have other people's children around. You know. If you have your own children, that's one thing. But if you're bringing in other children, it's really wise to have somebody else there, so it's clear what went on. You know, somebody can just say something out of the blue, make something up. You know. Yeah. Okay. So enough for that. I think we've covered all the other points. The lamination and the little book will be coming, and so now we can go into the map. Any questions so far? As far as I know, I think I've given you just about everything else that I have, or who's done it already. Now I think you feel confident about finding a book, examining a book, analyzing a task, analyzing a book, teaching a book. I think a lot of this came from me for years of having to teach in the public schools, and just the quantity. Every day I would go to a bookstore at night. I would go to import stores and get ideas for art. You know, my enrollment for Meany Middle School was 150 students a day. 150 students a day. And they all had to be kept very busy, believe me. And it was heavy art projects, not just, you know, let's color, or let's do a few cute drawings. No way. We did marionettes, really full-size marionettes this big with glass eyes and movable parts and clothes and all kinds of wall-size posters and every medium and articulated masks. You know, because in the Northwest there was a tradition of the Indians, and they had masks that would move. And some of the children would do big masks with moving beaks, you know, kites that would fly. It was heavy. Very demanding. 150 kids a day? Very demanding. So I was, at night, I would, you know, eat dinner and then go to the local import shops and, oh, there's a project. Oh, there's a book. You know, we just got used to seeing everything as potential material, and it is. Everything is potential, so learn to see that. And I think now you're getting that idea a little bit. The world is full of inspiration. You just have to be tuned in. You know, you'll actually find there's not enough time to teach it all. Yeah. Your problem will be focusing, not what. Probably narrowing it down. Okay, so far so good? All right. So now we'll try to do the maths. No matter what the level of math that has to be taught, if it's beginning skills, or if it's all the way up to calculus or physics or something that requires mathematics, the basic operations must be perfect and fast, right? Proficiency in addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now, in a lot of cases, students said, now we're going to let you students join us. So all of you students who have your magic slates, you should now join in on this, because before this has been philosophy, but now you'll need your slate. So whoever has a magic slate, you ready to go with us? Okay. And Vidarbha and Rasika, do you have your magic slates today? All right, because this is something, no, it's okay. All right. So we're going to discuss the operations. And you have the math sheets at home, right? The practice sheets. Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's try the faster method across the board. So the first operation is addition, and the second operation is subtraction, and the third operation is multiplication, and the fourth operation is division, shown either with a quotient phrase or with the division sign. So These are the four. And these two are inverse. Inverse means they go in both directions, and these two are also inverse. So if you, again, task analyze, you think, well, the logical thing for children to see is how the one actually is the inverse of the other. And it's also faster to teach that way, right? I just go from one and then I just switch and I go back the other way. That way they get a total picture. Sometimes they wait to teach this until the 3rd grade and maybe this until the 4th grade, but we took it right on. And they can do it. Okay, you all have your magic slates, and are your children quiet now? Everybody listening attentively? We don't have our desks, so it's a little harder to be focused. Okay, you pass that forward. How did you like Manaji's? Good? Pleasing? 13-year-old? It can be done. I know I was surprised when she was in the class. I would think she could stick it out. She did better than most of them. So we'll take the strategies through these wherever they apply. All right, so you're going to have to take notes a little bit. So the first strategy deals, and we go systematically through the number zeros. So zero strategy for both addition and subtraction is no change. Right, no change. I better get my sheets out too, so they're handy. Yes. And as you do them, you teach rapid scanning. We talked about that. Extremely rapid scanning. You tell the child he's at a radar screen and he works for, he works for the government security. And they're scanning the screen to detect, is there some kind of a foreign missile coming in? They're supposed to watch. Or an airplane pilot who has to be sure that there's no other plane in the path of the course. These study sheets come from the Saxon program in America. It's a totally different approach. It's an integrated approach, incremental approach. But the Rigby system is coming from Australia. So I took the Saxon study sheets for drills because the Rigby program was too slow. And again, so the child is basically looks just as we did before. You just look for the zeros, learn to use your cursor, and you go along and you just say, where do you see zero? And first you just detect those, sliding along this way and going up and down this way. So he becomes completely conversant with scanning the screen in every direction, up and down. Where are the zeros? Prabhupada said math is the pencil sharpener of the brain. Makes you sharp. Actually, in the Gurukula at the time I joined, we only were required to teach mathematics, geography, language skills, Sanskrit. They had Mridanga, but he kept it pretty basic. Sanskrit was required. And solid foundation in language, good foundation in math, and geography, so we don't look like fools. And also for preaching, where's Africa? And where's Malaysia? So math, he said, was the pencil sharpener of the brain. So then the child goes through and he realizes, and then you analytically teach it, right, with solid objects. We used to use little cubes. They have these plastic cubes that fit together. That was also part of the Rigby program, every color. And you could take 3 blue ones and 2 yellow ones, or 5 green ones and 6 red ones, put them together, so they could actually see. Or you can use dishes with objects, so they get a concrete understanding, not just memorizing, but they actually see in practical terms what it is. But the memorization here is not so much. The concept is understood, and they just learn to use a strategy to come up with a quick response. So then the child is taught to go across, and wherever he uses a 0, He reads the other, first he says, states the problem 3 plus 0, 3 plus, what is it, 8 plus 0, okay, 8 plus 0, and then he would say, he has to identify the strategy. He said, no change strategy, 8 plus 0 is 8, and he knows to call out the other number because there's no change. And then you can take him directly into the subtraction. Now, the only difference with addition and subtraction is that in addition, the position has no bearing on the total. The add-ins can be in any order. They can be above or below, but obviously in subtraction, we're not dealing with minus 0 numbers. So the larger number is on top, and they just look for the 0 in the second position. And they'll say it's the same thing, so no change strategy. 5 minus 0 is 5. 5 minus 0 is 5. And then the timer comes in right away. You can time a row at a time, you can time a column at a time, you can time a page at a time, and keep records. The whole idea is zoom, zoom, zoom. This page can also be done in about a minute. Saxon put it at 4. For proficiency, absolute accuracy in less than 4 minutes or less. And that means that child, no matter what mathematical requirement is made of him, he has the building blocks. Because so often children are going on with 2-column addition or 3-column subtraction or multiplication or division, and they're weak in the operational skills. So the point is, at least at the level I dealt with, make their operational skills solid. A solid house is built on a solid foundation. And if you're having trouble in the 5th grade with addition, you better be sure everything else is going to be collapsing. Because that's just a minor skill at that point. You're doing division and remainders, and then you're turning into percentages and fractions and finding common denominators and fractions, and oh my God, and they still don't know how to add. So, and I would see it. They're doing this. So usually what they did in the school was they sent everybody to me for 1 month. The whole school came for math for 1 month, for a couple of hours, until we got everybody up. And then they could, as soon as they passed this, then they could go back to the class and continue their studies. So it was sort of like a catch-up program. We call the term catch-up rather than remedial. Because remedial has a negative intonation. So if your child's behind, you just say, let's do our catch-up work. Get you up to speed. Terminology is very important. Like now in the West, they're not allowed to use special ed. You know, they'll just have some other term for it. You know, because often the label would be on a child for years, and we felt ashamed. And now they mainstream children. Before we had special schools, but they don't do that now. They mainstream them. And maybe where they're weak, they'll just go for catch-up work. Like that. But they have to be very careful because it creates a really heavy stigma and an image crisis for the child. Really, they're very conscious about that in the West, actually. Okay, so no change strategy. Now in multiplication, the strategy is a little different. In multiplication, 0 means 0. Right? Anything times 0 means it's not there. 0 times 5, 0 times 2, 0 times 6, 7 times 0, and the position doesn't matter. So you scan, explain it, show it in 2 dishes. This dish has nothing in it. 4 times the dish that's empty is nothing. If I would have passed out cake last night, and I handed out 4 empty dishes, there would have been a complaint. Where's my piece? Did you all like the cake?
Yes.
I told Danisha everybody liked the cake. And Raghava got to tell her that over the phone. Because we called her up and we ordered a smaller cake for the hospice. And I said, oh, one of the little boys is here. And he said the cake was very nice. Okay. For division, that's easy. You cannot divide by 0. So instead of 100 problems, there will be 90. So here you don't even have to worry about it. Just forget it. And that doesn't mean multiply. All right? You don't have to deal with it. So that makes that easy. No change, 0, strategy, and doesn't exist. You cannot divide by 0. You try it on a computer and you'll break it. Just keep working, working, working. It doesn't work. You can't divide by 0. Okay, so far so good? Now it's just a matter of, you just do a certain amount of time each day for your math, and you just get their skills really good, and then basically, if I were in your shoes, I would make sure, depending on the level and the rate, I would make sure that you can do this really well, take a little time, a week or two, and the same way with the Spalding, just get them really solid in their phonograms, and if they're older, run them through the list really fast. And then you can go on, you can go on with anything else, any other program, any other you want. But make sure this is really solid. Get, reading and math. And sometimes that's really about all you really need in life. You don't need higher level things so much. But even if you go to higher level things, these are required. They're prerequisite. So I've done this well. They can read well, they can spell well. They know their grammar well, and we've given you fast methods. This is make sure their operations are well. Then you just go to any math book, depending on the level, and whether we're teaching quotients, or we're teaching ratios, or we're teaching measuring areas, or geometry, they have the tools to do it. So the next strategy would be the +1, and then of course the -1. This one. So +1 is just step up 1. They look at a 5 and they see a 1, they mean it's just the next number. Right? You step up 1. And it doesn't matter if it's above or below. And for subtraction, you just step down, right? And for addition, you what? Step up 1. So it's the next number. And counting forwards and backwards is helpful for little ones. Counting up to 20, and then 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, going back and forth, so that they know very quickly what's the sequence. Okay? And the whole idea, even if they know that, is speed. Timing. Bam, bam. You can always go faster, right, Gadarika? No matter even if you know, what's 7 plus 1, Gadarika?
8.
She knows. But learning to just go through the sheet and wherever you see these, and that way whatever math she faces, automatic, instant. All right? Now, the strategy for times, if I have times 1, the strategy is it's the same number, right? Because here actually multiplication and division mean grouping, groups up. Right? This is individual unit, but now we're talking multiplication is actually fast addition. It's fast addition. If I have 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, it's faster to say 4 5s. Right? It's fast addition. Yeah. If I have 6 plus 6 plus 6, it's faster to say 3 times 6. It's fast. And division is the same way. I'm making groups of things. I'm grouping. So I'm just grouping things so that we all have the same number in each group. And it's fast. So anything times 1, strategy is same number. All right, what's 4 times 1? Same number. 4. Right, that means I have a little bowl of fruit, maybe cherries. And there are 4 cherries in the bowl. And that's all I have is 1 bowl. Right? So how many cherries do I have? 4. That means 1 bowl of 4 cherries. 1 group that contains 4. Right? Or if it's 4 times 1, it's 4 little bowls, and they all have 1, and that's fast addition. Okay? So this strategy is same number. And division, if I divide 5 by 1, same number. Right? Same number. This one is just the same number. So that strategy is easy too, dividing by 1. The next thing we taught, in addition, was doubles. Double strategy. No, I'm sorry, step up 2. Plus 2. The plus 2 strategy. So for very little children, most of these children could probably do it quickly in their heads, but for very little one, they had to have a special little sequence. And this would be minus 2. So you just say the number. Let's say it's 3 plus 2. So they would say plus 2 strategy. They scan for 2s. They say plus 2 strategy.
Yes, please.
Plus 2 strategy. And then they would say, if it's 3 plus 2, they would say 3, 5. They silently say the first step. And then they say the second step out loud. So 7 plus 2 would be 7, 9. Okay? Did you see how you do that? They're stepping up 2. And then you can also show that this is 7, and this one is 8, 9. So 7 plus 2 steps is 7, 9. They don't say the 8. It's silent. It's mentally said. So they realize I'm climbing 2 steps. Before I just said the next step. But now, the next logical thing, and this is very important for little ones. 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Right? 6, 8. And 9, 11. Mentally they say it, or they can say it with their lips. But they don't say it loud, they just say the final answer. And then the same thing is done with division, subtraction. You go in reverse, you're counting backwards. If I say 6 minus 2, I will have 6, 4. I'm counting backwards. So this way you can go forwards and backwards, taking the whole thing at one time, rather than waiting to go through the whole thing in addition and then start again with subtraction. I found that was faster, and they saw the connection. And then they can also see 5 plus 2 equals 7. And then 7, and then this is called like a family, right? You start to see these number of families. Then 7 minus, you can take the first one, 2, or we're doing minus 2, equals 7, 5. And practice writing them out also. That you have to do. Remember that 70% means I write it. They have to practice writing. Because in math in school, you have to write out problems often. Maybe you'll get a test, but most of your homework, you have to write out the problem. Okay, clear on that strategy? Plus 2, minus 2. Step up, but you silently say the first step. Okay, then Darvika, let's give you one, all right? What is 4 plus 2? Show us how we teach it. 4.
6.
Good. All right, that's how you, especially to little ones. All right, let's give you one. 8, Nityananda, 8 plus 2. How would we teach that? We would say what? 8. You don't say 9, you just whisper 9. Okay, so say 8, 10. Okay. All right, you know how to do that with him then? All right, let's give you one. 7 minus 2. So how would we teach that?
7, 2.
No, minus 2.
7 minus 2. So 6, 7, 7, 2, 5, 7, 5.
Okay, and now we would actually, you see the brain has to think a little bit. It's a different way of going about it. They have to actually think. It's not just I memorize 7 minus 2. The mind is actually working up and working out. All right, Ball, you're probably good at this. Let's give you 9 minus 2.
9, 7.
Okay, he mentally said 8. All right, Raghav, How about 6 minus 2?
4.
Okay, very good. So they're thinking, you see, the wheels are working. All right, and you want to do, which one did we do? Okay, 3 minus 2. Okay, that's easy. But 3, 1. The wheels have to work. Let's try you again. Let's do 5 minus 2. Say 5.
4.
No, don't say the 4. 4 has to be silent. You do it in your mind. Okay, 5.
5. 3.
Good. Yeah, so you see it worked. It really worked. And at first, you see, then they're really going forwards and backwards, and they're moving up and down the scale. I'll give you one more, okay? Because you're really good now. 7 minus 2.
7. 5.
Perfect. Very good. You see how nice that is? Very good. So up and down, and you're accomplishing 2 things at once. Rasika, let's give you one. Did she know how to do it? Was she here for the? You missed it. Okay, this is how we teach subtraction. And you have to do mental thing here. See, she's teaching her. That's the whole idea. You equip them. You ask them, how would I teach this? Right? It's not how do I do it. How would I teach it? See if she's a good teacher. Just the whole thing, you know, if you give them a sense of responsibility, then, oh, I'm not just a learner, I have a bigger job. And then they'll turn around and help somebody. There's such a psychology to teaching, really. You know, saying things in the right way, and it's not just to manipulate. It's actually to put them in a higher level of accountability. Are you ready? You know how to do it? I'll go over it. We're teaching you how to teach. Maybe you have to teach somebody someday. How to teach the +2 strategy. So listen, Rasika, because you missed out. +2 strategy means I say the number, if I'm adding. I silently think of the next step, and then I say the next number. All right? So if I say 7 plus 2, I say 7, 9. Notice I whispered 8, but I didn't say it. Mentally you think it, but then you're going up 2 steps, right? If I'm coming down, I go backwards 2. 6 minus 2, I say 6, 4. Okay? Let's try you on one. All right? 9 plus 2. How would you do that? How would you teach that? What's the first thing you do? You say the 9,
9.
then you think the next number.
7. No. 9.
That's plus 2. 9.
9. 7. 9.
See the next number in your mind.
What's after 9?
10.
Don't say that though. Think it. Just quiet. Okay, 9.
11.
11. Okay, one more. Let's go backwards. 8 minus 2. So say 8.
Minus 2. Say 8.
Say 8. Now whisper the next number down. Now what's the next number down?
6.
So 8 minus 2 is 8, 6. Okay? That way they're thinking. The whole idea of this is thinking. Same way with Spalding. There's no guesswork, there's no just parrot business. There's complete thinking, and that's what we call them strategies. And you'll see their mathematics is much stronger because they know what they're dealing with. All right? Now, the 2's in multiplication, this requires the double strategy, which has to be taught here. So at this point, I'm going to drop this. And we'll now just go with addition and subtraction, okay? Now, we don't do a +3 strategy. We only do a 0, +1, +2. The next strategy is doubles. Doubles. What's the next strategy? Doubles. Does anybody know what doubles mean?
3 plus 3.
What does it mean?
3 plus 3.
They're both the same, right? Okay, two numbers are the same. So double 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, and we have 0 also. That means in doubles, we have the same number, okay? So here I have 1 and 1, and here what do I have? 2 and 2, and what here?
3 and 3.
And here?
4 and 4.
And here?
5 and 5.
And here?
6 and 6. 7 and 7. 8 and 8. 9 and 9.
And 0 and 0. All right, now, another strategy is to already isolate what we've talked about before. We've already talked about plus 1, right? And we've already talked about plus 2. And we've already talked about plus 0. So as we work, we'll see that we're dealing with fewer problems. When it comes to multiplication, by the time we're doing 12 times 12, we only have to learn one problem. We've already learned the others, just in a different order. So actually, as it looks as though it's getting harder and harder, it's actually getting easier and easier. You have to let them see what's going on, the whole picture. All right, so with the doubles, we teach, let me go across here. We show them first the answers, and then we memorize the double jump, like jumping by 2s. Because doubles means counting by 2s. Okay, everybody ready? So what's 1 plus 1?
2.
2. Everybody got it?
Yes.
Everybody loud again? 1 plus 1?
2.
2 plus 2.
4.
And 3 plus 3.
6.
And 4 plus 4.
8.
And 5 plus 5.
10.
And 6 plus 6.
12.
And I'm trying to be careful now. I should be careful to put it in the right position. Because if I don't, that can create troubles later with addition. I'm going to put this in the 1's column and the 10's column. 8 plus 8?
16.
9 plus 9?
18.
And 0 plus 0?
0.
0. Okay. So for very young children, after we've shown them we're jumping by 2s, we tell them that these are even numbers, right? Even numbers mean they can be divided. And we're jumping by 2s now, right? So they have to count quickly. 2, 4, everybody, let's do it together. Let's count by 2s. Are we ready? Nichananda, you ready? Everybody say with us. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And we can say this, we can make this 10, but 0. Okay. All right, let's try backwards. 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. All right? Now let's erase this and say it. All right, ready? 2,
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 0.
And let's go backwards.
0, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4,
2. All right, now we'll erase everything and just let's have somebody who would like to just count by 2s up and down. Who wants to count by 2s? Kandarvika, you count by 2s up and down. 2, 4, 6, go ahead.
Say it.
You want to just tell us? You can just tell us, okay? 2, 4, up and down, yeah. 2, the doubles.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 0. 0, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Good. And you see the thinking process has to be there. Then, with practice, you build it up so it's lightning fast. Who wants to try it a little faster? Paul? From where are you sitting?
2, 4, 8, 10, 12.
2, 4, 6.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 0. 0, 18, 16,
try it? Can you do it even faster, Raghav?
I can't do it.
Okay, do it at your rate, that's okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18,
16.
16, 18, 0.
Okay.
0, 18, 16, 18, 16, 12,
14.
14, 12, 10, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Good. Very good. Okay.
2, 4, 8,
Well,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 0.
okay, backwards.
0, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Okay, fast. That's just it. It should be so lightning fast. Go ahead.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18,
16.
18, 0. 0, 18, 14, 16.
We should actually have put the 0 first. Zero should have been first.
0, 18, 16, 12, 14, 12, 10, 6, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Good. And you see the mind has to be really working, all right? All right, Nishananda, and then we'll do Rasika, okay? 2.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 0.
Okay.
0, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Good. You see the mind's really working. That's the whole thing. They're really thinking. Rasika, start with 0. 0, 2, 4, 6. I should have put that first. Go ahead. 0.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, then 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0.
Good. Okay, just Pranav, want to give it a go? Okay, Pranav?
2,
0, start with 0, okay? 0, 2.
0, 0, 2, 4, 6,
Just let him think.
7, 8.
So what you do when he does it, rather than do all that, this is the sequence building, remember? 0, 2. Then you say 0, 2, 4. Then you go back and you say 0, 2, 4, 6. Don't try to do the whole thing. Just like the phonograms. Remember? We never did a string. What did we do? 1 and go back. 1 more and go back. They can't handle more than 1 if they're just learning. So he would have to go through 0, 1, or 0, 2, and then 0, 2, 4, and then go back, 0, 2, 4. And then every time you missed it, keep doing that one until he can go add 1. Try to do it like this, and he'll just freak out. The whole secret of drills is what I taught you. Only add 1 more at a time, and then always revise. That way, it's built in. If you keep adding onto an unstable, if I have a shaky platform, and I'm putting more and more like books on a shaky platform, what's going to happen? They're going to fall off. You keep going back and forward, and back and forward. You drill anything that way. Lists, numbers, everything. Okay? Only one at a time if they don't know it. If they're catching it, okay. Okay, after we do the doubles, you go through the chart, and those are easy because there aren't 19, there are only 10 or 9 doubles. Right? So the child goes through wherever he sees the same number twice. So everybody, scan your sheet now. And see wherever you find a double. That means both numbers are the same. Just your addition. Because at this point now, we have to take them in isolation. Wherever you find two numbers the same, it's a double. So it will be 2 plus 2, 5 plus 5, 8 plus 8, 9 plus 9, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 6, 1 plus 1, 0 plus 0. Scan with your cursor. We want to see everybody's fingers sliding. Bob, you do it. You take your finger, your cursor, hold the sheet, and scan. Go across a row at a time. And whenever you come to a double, you say the number, and then you say the answer. See if you can do it with your moms, okay? Or with whoever you're studying. Rasika, do you have a practice sheet? Does she have a practice sheet? You don't have your practice sheet with you? Okay, yeah. Scan. Okay? Nityananda, sit with your mother now, because she's going to drill you. She has this sheet. So you just take him through now, and wherever you see doubles, that means the numbers are the same, and you call out the answer quickly. Okay, see, he's good actually. He's quick. He's quick at that.
12, 4, 0, 6, 8,
Okay, so now let Tanda use her cursor. Let her practice the scanning. Because this is part of even speed reading. Learning how to take my cursor, put other things down, hold your things straight, sit up straight. Everybody should be sitting straight. Because this is what keeps you alert. I scan. Where do I see two numbers identical? Teaches you to be sharp. Slide the finger along. Just like on a ruler. Slide, slide, slide. Just addition. Mataji, just addition. Your white sheet. Yeah. Your white one. Your white is addition. Like that. Okay, for now, take your finger. He should do it. He should do it. Hold the paper. Sit up straight. And slide the finger, and whenever you see it, you call it out. If you come across the first one, maybe it's 5 plus 5, you say 5 plus 5, and then you call out the answer. Yeah, it teaches them to make your eyes go over a broader period too, like really scanning, like for speed reading. You start to take in whole lines at a time, you know? Stretch the awareness. Use your cursor, Nityananda. Use your cursor, slide along. This is your cursor, like on a computer. Computer will show where you're pointing. Okay, slide it along, and then you stop. Wherever you see the doubles, hold your paper. Okay, start with the first row, go across. Left to right. Top to bottom. Okay, wherever you see doubles. Now he should just find them because he doesn't know the answer. He doesn't know the doubles yet, so he should just scan right now and find them. He remembers some, okay. But first should come 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He should connect them, and then he scans them on the sheet. Okay? Because everything has to be done sequentially. If it's solid, then they're rapid at every stage. Okay, Baum? Go through and out loud do it for us. Scan row at a time, and when you come across a double, you call it out.
5 plus 5, 10.
You have to say double strategy before you give the answer, okay?
Double strategy. 5 plus 5, 10. Double strategy. 1 plus 1, 2.
This is how we do it. Everybody listening to
Double
this?
strategy.
This is how it should sound.
16. Double strategy. 2 plus 2, 4. Double strategy.
You missed one. 6
Missed
plus
one.
6
6 plus 6, 12. Double strategy.
Say 6 plus 6 equals 12. You should put the whole thing in, so it's really clear what's going on.
Double strategy. 8 plus 6, 16. Double strategy. 2 plus 2, 4.
No, equals 4. Add the equals.
2 plus 2 equals to 4 like this. Double strategy. 0 plus 0 equal to 0.
Go to same line. Check, no? Check.
3 plus 3, same line.
3 plus 3, 6. Double strategy, 3 plus 3, 6.
Equals 6.
Equals to 6.
Because in other operations, you want to make it clear what you're doing. So you're thinking, don't leave any, don't get abbreviated yet. We have to say everything at the initial
Double
stages.
strategy, 4 plus 4 equals to 8.
Check.
Double strategy, 9 plus 9 equals to 18.
No, what did you say, 218? What did you say? Just say equals 18. Oh, you say equals 2. Just say equals. Yeah, that was, I think you were adding a 2. Just say 9 plus 9 equals 18. All right?
9 plus 9 equals 18, double strategy. Double strategy, 7 plus 7 equals 14.
Okay, and then you just time him on that. You keep in the record? Okay, today, this date, please, all right? Who else wants to try it? The double strategy. Okay, Kadarika, as fast as you can. Slide your finger and everybody follow because you get practice with the other student. Everybody, Nityananda, follow. Let Chanvi hold her paper. Okay, Chanvi? She should do, okay? Because she's the one that has to get used to the cursor. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, go.
One double strategy, 1 plus 1 equals to 2.
Just say equals 2. If you say equals 2, then it sounds like some other number.
Second line.
Start at the top and go across.
Double strategy, 5 plus 5 equals to 2.
No, don't say equals to 2.
Equals 10. 1 plus 1, double strategy, equals 2. 2 plus 2, double strategy, equals to 4.
6
8
plus
plus
6.
8, double strategy, equal to 16.
Don't say equals 2. It adds confusion. Because the 2 sounds like another number in there.
0 plus 0, double strategy, equals 0. 6 plus 6. 4 plus 4, double strategy, equals 8.
You missed out one. 3 plus 3.
Equals in the 0 line. Nine plus 9 double strategy equals 18. 7 plus 7 double strategy equals 14.
So you can see how scanning can be really speeded up. They become so alert that practice should be just like the phonograms, lightning fast. Who else wants to try it? Nityananda? Okay, start. Everybody follow so you get practice. Don't just sit there. Follow along. Go.
Double strategy 5
Plus 5.
plus 5 equals 10.
Equals 10.
Double strategy.
Double strategy 1 equals 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yeah, read the whole problem quickly.
6 double strategy 6 and plus 6 equals 2.
You say equals 12.
Equals 12.
You say equals 2, then we sound like equals 2. It's not 2. It equals 12. It sounds like it gives you the wrong impression.
8 double strategy 8 and plus 8 equals 16. Double strategy 2 plus 2 equals 4. 0 double strategy 0 plus 0 equals 0. 3 double strategy 3 plus 3 equals 6. 4 double strategy 4 and plus 4 equals 4. Double strategy 9 plus 9 equals 18.
That's it. Now you see there's room for so much speed in there. If I were doing a diagnostic on this, I would say they need a lot of help with math. Okay? Barbara.
Double strategy 5 plus 5 10
Say equals 10.
Double strategy 1 plus 1 is equal to equals to 6 plus 6 equals 12.
Say your strategy. You always announce the strategy because that's the most important thing. How do I solve this problem? It's your thinking out loud stage. Are you following again?
Double strategy
He should be following. He's looking around.
equals 4. Sorry. Double strategy 8 plus 8 equals 16. Double strategy 2 plus 2 equals 4. Double strategy 0 plus 0 equals 0. Double strategy 3 plus 3 equals 6.
Need to know how to follow. Don't space out.
Double strategy 4 plus 4 equals 8. Double strategy 9 plus 9 equals 18.
Okay? Do you all have the idea now? You can see how much work there needs to be done. All right. Quickly, let's see if you can go fast. So we want to cover all the strategies. We have a lot to cover. But this is indicative of, they're very slow at it. It should be lightning fast. By now, lightning fast. A 3- and 4-year-old can do this lightning fast and proper exposure. Go ahead.
Double strategy 5 plus 5 equals 10. Double strategy 1 plus 1 equals 2. Double strategy 6 plus 6 equals 12. Double double strategy, 8 plus 8 equals 16. Double strategy, 0 plus 0 equals 0. You missed one. 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2, double strategy, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Double strategy, 4 plus 4 equals 8.
2 plus 3.
I'm not so happy the way Nityananda is being expected to sit. Mataji, if you're going to take him home and he's going to be like that, I would suggest you send him to a school. I'm being honest with you.
9 plus
It's
9.
familiarity, not school here. Familiarity doesn't train. Familiarity breeds contempt.
9 plus 9.
And you can see it in their attitude. He's very
Double
offensive.
strategy.
He won't take correction without begrudging. You have to be really looking what's going on. I'm not here to just, serve cake and ice cream. Are you expecting? And how do they accept it? If it's begrudgingly, then you better hand them over to somebody that, there's no emotional pull on the heartstrings. When I see that kind of a mood, you're in trouble. You're in trouble before you start. Nityananda, sit up. For me, I'm just like a general. They don't mess with me. It's my business is they're going to learn this, and then they're going to learn how to have a proper attitude towards learning and towards those people who are helping them learn. And if we see them sitting like back in their mommy's arms, every time your mother asks you to do something, put them in school. At least they'll learn respect. If you don't know respect, it doesn't matter whether you can fly through this. And you won't be able to fly through it if you don't have respect. You'll be blocked. Because you're too busy being begrudging. Homeschooling is not necessarily everybody's answer. It may only just deepen the problems. Am I not right? The next strategy, we're going to go on. It's a difficult one. This is where this system works well. Your next strategy is called near doubles. Near doubles. I want to see every child sitting up, no whining, no games, no dramas. We're here to learn. We're not here just to deepen bad habits. We're here to be trained on all levels. Attitude in learning, attitude in dealing with each other, attitude in dealing with your superiors and your parents. That's why we're here. We're not here to stroke false egos. Here's where the mind has to really be sharp. And it cannot be sharp if I'm worried about whining or not sitting up. You'll be dull and you'll be offensive. Does anyone see patterns happening here?
Yes.
You see patterns. What's happening? What's the next one?
6 plus 5.
If you're sharp, it's called predicted outcomes, critical thinking. I see a pattern, and then I figure out what's next. Predicted outcomes. I'm a thinker. I'm not just a parrot. What's next?
7 plus 6.
Okay, we'll go this far. The first combination are doubles, right? All those in the first position are called double strategy. But if I look at the next one in the group, we have what's called a near double. That means one of the numbers is the next number up. This is 1 plus 1 plus 1 more. So what I do is I take the smaller number, double it. If I see two numbers are side by side, I analyze. 2 is next to 3. 3 is next to
4.
4 is next to
5.
5 is next to
6.
6 is next to
7.
If I see that kind of a pattern, I say this is a near double. It's not 6 plus 6, it's 6 plus,
7.
it's not 5 plus 5,
6.
5 plus 6. It's not 3 plus 3.
3 plus 4.
All right, so I double the smaller number and step up 1. So I look at this. Now these are already other strategies, so it's easy to do this. But if I double 1, I get what?
2.
But it's a near double, so it's the next number, which is what? 3. If I double 2, this is also a 2 strategy. You see, with the little ones, you're getting easier strategies. But with the bigger ones, it becomes a problem. And this is where most mistakes are made. But with this method, they get these. 6 plus 6 is how much?
12.
6 plus 7, therefore, must be. That's right. It's logic. It's not memorization. It's thinking. If 5 plus 5 is 10, then 5 plus 6 has to be 11. If 4 plus 4 is 8, then 4 plus 5 has to be 9. It's the next step. If 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 3 has to be
5.
very good. If 3 plus 3 is 6, then 3 plus 4 has to be
7.
It's called near double strategy. Wherever I look on the chart, now 3 may be on top, 3 may be on the bottom, 6 may be on the bottom, 6 may be on the top. Now I'm looking for numbers that are next to each other. They're side by side. They're in a sequence. And it doesn't matter whether the smaller number is above or below. I double it, and I step up to the next number, because that's what's happening, right? If 6 plus 6 is 12, then 6 plus 7 is 13. It has to be. It's next one more. 7 is 1 more than 6. Exactly? Is everybody clear on the strategy? Tandi, you got it?
Yes.
All right, now scan. And just call out the near doubles. Don't give me the answer. Who wants to do that first, right off the bat? You go through your sheet, ball. Go through your sheet, and you just call out, wherever you see two numbers side by side, you read them and you say near double strategy, but don't give us the answer, okay? Everybody follow and listen. And no long faces. You know, Ron Clark didn't accept that, didn't he? No rolling of the eyes, no smacking of the lips, looking at the teacher. He expected it. He gave his blood for those kids, but he expected it also. It wasn't a cakewalk. All right, now you just slide through, and wherever you see a near doubles problem, you call it out. Now there are some here we haven't listed. We haven't listed 7 plus 8.
13. No.
I don't want the answer.
Near double strategy.
Near double strategy. We haven't listed 8 plus 9.
Near double
Near double
strategy.
strategy, okay? Okay, all you do now, every step is small. You don't do the whole thing. You master tiny steps. First you show the logic, then you master a partial step. Then you master the whole thing. And then you do it at speed. Okay, so Bal is going to lead it. Everybody call it out after he says it. Go ahead, start,
3
follow.
plus 2 near double strategy.
Everybody say?
3 plus 2 near double strategy.
Next.
2 plus 1 near double strategy.
2 plus 1 near double strategy.
5 plus 6 near double strategy.
5 plus 6 near double strategy.
1 plus 0 near double strategy.
1 plus 0 near double strategy.
5 plus 4 near double strategy.
5 plus 4 near double strategy.
6 plus 5 near double strategy.
6 plus 5 near double strategy.
4 plus 5 near double strategy.
4 plus 5 near double strategy.
3 plus 4 near double strategy.
3 plus 4 near double strategy.
8 plus 7 near double strategy.
8 plus 7 near double strategy.
8 plus 9 near double strategy.
8 plus 9 near double strategy.
6 plus 7.
7 plus 2.
1 plus 2 near double strategy.
1 plus 2 near double strategy.
6 plus 7 near double strategy.
6 plus 7 near double strategy.
8 plus 9 near double strategy.
8 plus 9 near double strategy.
7 plus 6 near double strategy.
7 plus 6 near double strategy.
9 plus 8 near double strategy.
9 plus 8 near double strategy.
4 plus 3 near double strategy.
4 plus 3 near double strategy.
2 plus 3 near double strategy.
2 plus 3 near double strategy.
7 plus 8 near double strategy. 7 plus 8 near
All right, now, all of you, students and teachers alike, can you see the superiority of such a process? Everything is thinking. And these are the problems that are missed. 7 plus 8. But if you do this, they immediately say what? 15. You double the 7 and 1 step up. All right? What's 5 plus 4?
5 plus 4.
Tell me how you solve it.
4 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 9.
Very good. So she's thinking. So when she sees 5 plus 4, she's seeing, oh, there's a near double. It's not going to be 8, it's going to be 9. All right, everybody got the idea on that one? You just and then you just drill. And then mixing them up and speed. All right? Now it's going to be, and these are the ones that start to get missed. These are the ones that they start counting on their fingers or they get it wrong. Or especially when it gets to be bigger. 9 plus 8. Immediately, double the 8 and what is it? 17, right? 16 and 1 is 17. And what they do is mathematically they're thinking. That's the whole point. There's no memorization really. Minimal. Maybe in memorizing the doubles, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But beyond that, it's all thinking. They have to think. After a while, they just see it. Just like the phonograms. You just start seeing them. I see 7 and 8, and I see double 7 plus, right? I don't see 7 and 8, and what is that? No. I see 14 plus 1. You see deeply. They're thinking. And you can see they're thinking. If you make them think. If you let them sit around and do something else, then you're wasting your time. That's bad. There's very little time in this life. It goes like lightning. Have you figured that one out? How long ago did you guys get here? 3 weeks. It's over, right? All right? Next strategy. We have to cover a lot of strategies. Is this valuable? I told Srinatha this was valuable. This is as gold as Spalding. I taught these 2 things. And the 5-year-olds could do those pages lightning flash. Division also. Next strategy. This takes thinking. Because they're getting harder now. Ready? Next strategy. Now, some people have a mathematical mind and they see these things automatically, just like reading. There are some 2- and 3-year-olds that just pick up a book and start reading. They see the patterns. They don't even have to be told the phonograms. One of my friends, her 4-year-old, was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita without any training. Picked up the book and started reading it. Now that means that child from previous lifetimes already figured out the patterns of English. Some people are mathematically inclined, you're engineers, right? All they see is numbers. Everything is numbers. But other people have to be shown the way, just as we had to show you the way. Fall, hold it up, and stop goofing off. I really hate inattentiveness. If you want to see me get to like being a lion, just start playing around. Before you knew the Spalding, you thought the phonograms were a nightmare. Now you know them. It's not a nightmare. It's obvious, it's a breakthrough. So some people have to be shown the code. So in math, most children, you see here, they need to be shown the code. I could see. They were struggling with +1. Okay, and how big are they? 7, 8, 9, 11? We got to catch our program here. I'm talking about what we can get 3, 4, and 5-year-olds to do with the proper system and with the proper drillings. And they don't suffer. Are you guys suffering? I hope not. All right, near doubles +1. Okay, so now let's start some near doubles problems. Well, with the 2s and the 1s, it gets to be easier strategies. +3. There you really have to start thinking now. This is where problems start to set in. But they have to see it now for really in terms of all the strategies they're learning. These are the problems where a lot of where things really get like on the fingers, right? And we can go a little higher. We'll do this. All right. What kind of a strategy do we have with 3 + 2? Near doubles. We also have a +2 strategy, right? So you always use the easier one. But for these purposes, we'll use near doubles. What do we have 4 + 3? What kind of strategy?
Near double strategy.
All right, the numbers are next to each other. Which is 5 + 4?
Near double strategy.
Stop whining. You're getting away with it too much. It's no excuse anymore. You just pull it because she's your mom. I'm not going to allow it. By this age, you should be able to sit properly and stop whining. 6 + 5, because it's not cute. And in any school, you wouldn't be allowed to do it. It's a habit. You cannot possibly be sick that much and be walking around. 6 + 5 is what?
Near double strategy.
Okay, 7 + 6?
Near double strategy.
All right, now I really have to think. Because now I'm looking at combinations. Well, this you could solve easily with a +2 strategy, right? That's the easier one. But we look a little higher. Let's go to the next one, right? So I see 5 + 3. Well, if I doubled 3, right? Near doubles. Realize, well, if 4 + 3 is 7, then one more is going to be what? 8. These are 2 apart now, not 1 apart. And we don't say doubles plus 2. We don't say doubles plus 2. No, we say near doubles because we're learning the next step. We're learning to see 4 plus 3. I've mastered that. 4 plus 3 is what? 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. If I double the 3, I get a 6. And if I add 1 more, I get 7. But this is not 4 plus 3. It's the next step, which is what? Now you're really working the brain. 5 plus 3 has to be what?
Double the 3 plus 2.
Right, you could do like that. But basically you learn to see near doubles, or you can say you double the 3 plus step up 2. You can do that. But basically they taught near doubles plus 1. Near doubles plus 1 strategy. If 4 plus 3 is 7, 1 more, 5 plus 3 has to be what? 8. If 5 plus 4 is
9.
and you've mastered these now. Remember, you master each step. If 5 plus 4 is 9, then 6 plus 4 has to be
10.
If 6 plus 5 is, then 7 plus 5 has to be 12. And you set them up like this. You actually set up the patterns so they learn to see. Bam, 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 this relationship. And they're just seeing the numbers very deeply right away. If 7 plus 6 is what?
30.
That took a while. So you double the 6 and 1 more. 7 plus 6 is 13. Therefore, 8 plus 6 has to be what?
14.
All right, so you can put answers here. You can put 5, 7, 9, this is 11, and this is 13. And then you look at this again. If 3 plus 2 is 5, then 4 plus 2 has to be
6.
right. You see the near doubles. 4 plus 3, near double strategy. Therefore, near doubles plus 1, you identify it. Near doubles plus 1 strategy. 5 plus 3 is 8. This is a near double strategy. 5 plus 4 is 9. Near doubles, this is near doubles plus 1. 6 plus 4 is near doubles plus 1, 10. Here's near doubles. 6 plus 5 is 11. Near doubles plus 1. 7 plus 5 is 12. Near doubles. 7 plus 6 is what?
13.
Near doubles plus 1. 8 plus 6 is 14. All right, now everybody scan your sheet. Find near doubles plus 1. This is very hard now. Now you really have to think. Now see how quickly he knocked off that behavior? It's just a habit. It's just a habit. He's got you completely under his thumb. And you can almost hear the wheels cranking. Who's ready? Somebody ready to scan? Will follow? Who's ready to scan? Nobody yet? Gandharvika? Okay, for the sake of speed, Gandharvika is going to help us scan near doubles plus 1 problems. Now the brain is really working. You see how we gradually worked up from very easy, now the brain is working. Systematic, more difficult, but the sequential preparation has been established. Every step has to be mastered, drilled for proficiency.
So they have to say near doubles plus 1 step?
Yes. Every time we go through a problem, when we get eventually on... I should have my glasses on here. The problem is the glasses really bother. My first problem in the chart is what, 3 plus 5? After the child has mastered this, I've done this with all of my students. Every problem, the strategy is identified before they even say the parts. 3 plus 5. Near doubles plus 1 strategy. 3 plus 5 is 2. Next problem is what? Is that 8 plus 3?
Yes, ma'am.
8 plus 3? Okay. That one basically falls into a memory group. There's some that are memory groups. They don't fit any of the others. They just have to be memorized. 2 plus 1 strategy. 2 plus 1 is 3. Every problem is recited. Strategy for how I'm thinking. How do I model my solution out loud? They announce the strategy, then they give the answer. So in testing, when we thoroughly test before we're racing through, they rapidly cite the problem correctly, announce the strategy that's used, and if there are 2 or 3, they'll say this is the easier strategy. They are thinking at every level, and then they give the answer. That is understanding your maths operations. And this works all the way up through addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I think today we'll be lucky to just even do addition. Okay? So we can go through and identify near doubles plus 1 problems. They require a near doubles plus 1 strategy. Gandharvika, you want to try it still? You ready? Okay, follow with her. Go ahead.
Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 6 plus 4.
Okay.
Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 5 plus 7.
Good. She's got it.
Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 4 plus 6.
Back straight.
Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 8 plus 6.
Good. Everybody following?
Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 2 plus 4. Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 7 plus 5. Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 7 plus 9. Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 6 plus 8.
1 plus 3.
1 plus 3. Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 6 plus 8. Near double strategy plus 1, 3 plus 5. 1 strategy, 4 plus 2. Near doubles plus 1 strategy, 9 plus 7.
2 plus 3 is 2 plus 3 is not 2 plus 3
No.
it's near double. 2 plus 3 is near double.
Okay? You got that one idea? I'm going to give you one more. Now, there are 0, plus 1, plus 2, doubles, near doubles plus 1. Let's list all of them so you can see what you have, and then you have a memory group. Okay, so you have 0, plus 1, plus 2, doubles,
Doubles,
near doubles,
near
Near
doubles,
doubles and near doubles 1.
near doubles plus 1.
and how many so far?
6.
6.
Okay, near doubles
These are the pairs can be completed. Understood.
plus 1. And the last one, before the memory group, we have a memory group. These do not fall into any of the simple categories, right? The jump is just an odd one, and it's not that many. The next one is the plus 9 strategy.
Plus 9.
Plus 9. 9 is a mystical number. It's a divine number. The more 9s you have in phone numbers and names and numbers, the more divine. It's a divine number. And you'll see, anything that was the 9, multiplication, addition, subtraction, it just boggles your mind the way it works. Okay, so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strategies plus memory group. So then later we'll be isolating those. Remember how we take something that just doesn't fit, like the Spalding ones that were a little tough, and then you work on those. I would say 7 strategies is pretty good. Fantastic. And then you go home and you do your maths, your thinking, your timing, your drilling. Master the reading, master these things. Anything else like that becomes a cakewalk. You saw the diagramming the other day? Demystified years of grammar. Didn't it? On the second day they were analyzing. The whole point is we become thinkers. The problem with most school systems, especially in this country, is that they're parrot.
Yeah, they just want to make us do the memorization.
Parrot, and it's dull. Some kids can't do it. Some people who have a natural aptitude can. But that's understanding. Right? It's the lowest level of thinking ladder. This brings you up at least to understanding. Then application becomes life. Ready for the plus 9 strategy? Okay. If we do nothing else today, 'cause it's almost 1, I said to Sri Ananda, I said, I think the math is very important. Do you all agree? Breakthrough. That system I wrote. I had many books. We tried many systems. Australia. I had it. They're actually, in terms of learning theory, Piaget, many of the big thinkers came out of New Zealand, Australia. Plus 9. Okay? The plus 9 strategy. So I'll take any number plus 9. We'll start. Whenever I see a 9, you can already start looking at your sheets while I write this out. Spot them. Because you'll see something mystical happen with 9.
Plus 9.
And we'll explain it before. We're not just going to give you the answer with no understanding. You'll see what happens. 9 is a number, though. I have, like my friend, the artist, Satyadama. She's got 9s all over her phone number. 999 at the beginning and 3 more throughout. I actually used to love teaching multiplication because those strategies are like, man. Especially the 9s. So where they go up and down. Yeah. Okay? Did you all spot your nines now? Everybody know where they are? You see the nine, it should just jump at you. You should get to the point now where just like phonograms. Somebody just said, I saw a CK, it's a two-letter K on somebody's hat. Wherever you go, you see a phonogram, right? How many see that? You see that happening now? Reading? When you're looking at signs, do you see phonograms? They jump at you. Like, oh my God. There it is. Cut the two-letter cut. It goes in coast. I'm not going to go for it. I've been around too long. He can weep all he wants to. We'll have streams of tears, Lord Chaitanya. I've seen it all, I've done it all, I've been through it all. Does anybody believe that I know what I'm talking about? Yes. At this age, at 66, you've seen it all. In classrooms for years. Dealing with kids who'll tell me, hit me, I'll sue. I don't think everybody has that much of a problem. But I will tell you, I know a lot of parents in ISKCON that are great devotees, sincere devotees, and their kids are big-time drug dealers that need a bodyguard. I know two other fantastic devotees, fantastic, great devotees. One's very, very prominent personality, big in the material world, but tried to commit suicide and is now paraplegic. So when I'm telling you, don't be sentimental, I'm saying it from my heart. Not because I want to be up here and sound like a drill sergeant. Can you imagine drug dealers that need a bodyguard? Can happen. Another mother called me up from Bombay a few months ago. Tell me what to do. My teenage girl just has gone over the deep end. Running around with one crowd, won't listen to what I say, smoking, drinking, doing everything. I don't know what to do. Regulated daily program, everything at home, loving mom, everything there, bam, but just went over the deep end. Happens all the time. Don't be sentimental. My first daughter got married, wound up with a kid that had some kind of a fever. Kid's crippled for life. And she's got problems. Her husband just ran away with her. I mean, it's like, come on, folks, the law of need. You read Wilkinson and people's real problems. Serious devotee, fantastic. She's one of my best friends. More generous lady you couldn't find in the world. It's tough. And who knows what your karma has around the corner. For any one of you.